Well, this week we take 3 steps back to go 3 steps forward to be the exact same spot we're at. This weekend I was hoping to put together the engine, but instead, got to put this on. First thing we're going to do is cut this off. Got to put a C4 bushing in there. The only way you can buy these now is in this precision kit, which comes as 5202, but it comes with this seal, which I don't want to use. I want to use this seal. This is an S10. It makes it much smaller. So, yeah, and that one is part number, there you go, 9613S. So, yeah, at least they probably do sell it, that on its own, but at O'Reilly's, but who knows. No one could figure it out, so I just got those two. It is what it is. All right, first thing we'll do is cut that off. Let's move it on. Like I was saying before, 3 steps forward, 3 steps back. But now we're actually on the last step of moving forward. Actually, second to last step. Anyways, so I got to put this on there somehow. So what I did is that this is the gear, obviously, for Chevrolet. This is where the Ford one goes. Now the Ford's way up here. Chevrolet's here. There used to be a company who made an adapter. They're out of business by a couple months, so I made a sleeve here, and then I'm going to drill a hole through there, and then put these up in there like that, and I'm going to lock it down. Put that right there, and hopefully we can get a Speedo cable. So I'm going to give it a go. All right, so first step is to drill a little hole. That was a number 25. It fits in there nice and tight, and then that will get it so that way when you pull this clip over, it clips onto that, and then the clamp's going to go on this extra side so that way it doesn't pop it up. So, yep, you got to bend this up just a little bit, but I think it's going to work. And then I'm going to slice it down either side here, put it like right about there, and I'm going to put the clamp on this side and call her good. Let's see how it works. So obviously I made a mark on there, and that is at 7 5/16, I believe. 7 5/16, right there. So I measured that, and then this is going to go just like, oops, sorry, you can't see, right about like that. And that makes it nice and tight like that. And I'm going to obviously measure that. I'm going to put some red Locum-Titum on that, and then I'll put the other clamp on the other side like so, like that. Then I'm going to put a clamp on either side of it. I'll put a clamp here, and then I'll put a clamp there, and then I'm going to put the yoke on there. See, so yoke is here, and it doesn't go all the way, I mean, that's all the way on, so it's not going to hit that. So I will have the clamp on either side of it, and this will be right in there. And that should hold it, maybe. We'll see. So that's what I got going on. Let's make Speedo gear happen. Yay! So here it is. Is it going to work? I don't have a clue. It looks kind of what the other guy had, but who knows? So if you want to make one of these sleeves, this inner sleeve, that is, the OD is 1.190. That's the OD here, which will make this fit. I put a number 25 hole in the top here. Now, the ID, which is going to be the ID of your shaft. My shaft happened to be 1050. Okay, then I put 2 slits down it, put it on there. Then I got these clamps here, and I just basically left and a right, so that way one's up, one's down, and then I put the round part in the middle of that slot. I put red Loctite underneath that, and I put orange on these. It's not going to go anywhere. I mean, that's on there firm. It's not going anywhere. So let's see if it works. Fingers crossed. I haven't tried this yet. Try and do this with one-handed bandit. Oh. I think it's oh yeah, here we go. Hey, it's working, and there's the gear. It's perfect. Right in there. Let's spin it. See if does it make any noise? I don't hear any noises. let's bolt this up and turn it around. Let's see if it makes any noises, if anything's hitting anything. All right. Well, I think it's good. Want to hear any grinding noises? It's turning over easy. That's in third gear right now. When? Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you. I tapped this for an 1/8 inch NPT. I'm going to put a little 90 or 45 on that, and I'm going to run a hose up and vent it into the engine compartment, not into the cab in case there's everything. But yeah, I'm going to put a little 90-degree vent on that. Totally forgot to tell you that. So that's going to be right there. I threaded that. All right. Well, let's take it back off and let's put it together for real this time. Pretend like we're not kidding this time. We're good? I hope so, because I'm over this. What I do on here too is just, this is the very thinnest bead of silicone. It doesn't take much. I've already checked this as far as how flat this is, and it's pretty flat up against that. I put a little bit of assembly lube on that, so that way the gear, when I put it on there, it's not completely dry. And fingers crossed. I gotta do this with, it takes 3 hands to do this, and I've only got, really whatever, but you got to hold this on there, put the pin, the ball, and the and everything, and it takes 3 hands. So yeah, we're gonna put it all together, and I will show you what it looks like when it's done. What I do is I put a bunch of grease on there, and I actually put it so that way it's like going into like third gear. So the ball's sitting back there. That way this pin, that pin right there, you put that right back in there, and then when you push down on this, it's pushing down just like that. So that way it makes it a little easier, and that way when you're sliding on, it's not trying to push that back, and then you can easily, once it's on there, you can just pop it forward into the neutral position and then get that pin lined up. So once I put it on, I just put a couple bolts in there on either side, the ones that don't take silicone. The top ones up here and that there are the only ones that go into the case. The rest of them are external. So then what I do is, after I push it forward, I get one of these and I just get it straight. Take Mr. Pin, hammer Mr. Pin in. Not really sure if I said it, but it wasn't 55, it was actually 35. So I was wrong on that, where I was wrong. Right, these are 50 pounds. So I'm gluing these in here. So I got some orange Loctite underneath those. These are 50 pounds. And then I'm going to put these in, and I'm going to orange Loctite these in here. And then this sucker's set in here, and that's that. This is a done deal. It's Sunday morning, and I honed this thing and did some oiling mods, and I'm just going to tell you what I did. So here's what I do, is that I drill a little hole right through there, going to the oil. Then I take a bigger drill bit, and then I just basically kind of give it a little edge there, so that way it's a little bigger area. It's a little tiny hole. I'll tell you sizes in just a second. Then what I do to the bearing is on these, now these are king bearings, so it's got a groove that's right in line with that, which is different than these. So normally on these ones here, I can actually put the groove right in line with it, but because it's a king bearing, I can't, because it's got one of those chamfers right there, right in line with that. So what I did is I drilled a hole at an angle, and on the back side, right there, I don't know if you can see that, right there, I made a little channel, just a tiny little bit channel, right there. So that way it fills up, but you can see it's at an angle because the crank's going to be spinning this direction. So that way the oil gets on here and it just puts a little film of oil. All you're trying to do is just put a little oil there. It's not crazy big. I'll tell you the sizes in just a second because I don't have them on me. So I'll tell you in just a second. All right, so I got the sizes for you. So you can see the angle I drill that at. It's at a 16th, which is, 62.5 thousandths. That's what I drill that out. And then this is the one, this is the bearing size. This is what I drill into the block. It's 3/32, which is 93. And then I take a little bigger of a drill bit, kind of like 1/4 of an inch, and I just hit the edge where that drill bit goes through, and that just widens it out slightly. So that way you can line it up with that a lot easier. So that way the backside here lines up with that piece. So that's all you're trying to do. All you're trying to do is just put a little bit of high pressure oil right there, because the crank's going this direction in relative to where this is in the block. It's like this. So it's spinning around. So that way it's pulling the oil out on the thrust side when you're pushing the clutch in. So that's all you're trying to do. All right. Got the main bearings in. These are Kings. First time I've ever used Kings on a slant 6. We'll see how it goes. It's not really what is good. It's what's available. These were available. These are 10, 10, 10 here, 10 on the rod. So it is what it is. I put the rear main seal in there just at a slight little, just a little offset right there. I'm going to put some lube on this thing, and I'm going to set the crank, and I'm going to check end play without the cap first, then put the main cap on the center, and then check end play again. So the end play is right at 4. I'm good with that. It needs to be between, like, say 2 and 7, or after thrust and everything, it came down to about 3 on the thrust, which once I got this installed, no matter how I hammered it, I couldn't get it more than, it was 4 without that one. It always seems to get less, but that's 3 thousandths. Factory setting is 2 to, I think it's 7, I think is what it is, but I'm right there. So yeah, I just is what it is. Don't care, just gonna run it. Is what it is. Today's Friday, last day of working on this before I upload. It's Friday morning, actually, because I got the day off. I'm actually in the 68 Dart, and I'm taking out the man pedal assembly right now, and gonna put it in the green car for right now. So yeah, but this is already a rebuilt deal. The only thing I'm missing on this one is the over center spring on this thing. I'm seeing what I can do for that, if I've got something I can make or whatever. But yeah, this thing's already been rebuilt. I already put it back together. It's all greased up and everything. I don't have any pedals for this, so yeah, we're gonna take the old one out and put this one in. To take this out, I gotta take the steering column down and get this thing out. I've already taken the plate off that goes from there to there. Those 4 bolts are out, and I already taken I gotta take this one out here, and then see if I can kind of finagle this thing out. All right, the pedals are out. You saw me take them out. This is a master cylinder I'm gonna run. I'm a little slightly concerned. Yeah. So obviously this is not a new unit. Someone's definitely has modified it. Yeah, which I'm not super concerned with. It just kind of is what it is. The box is, you know, obviously, box is a box. As long as the part works, I don't care. I got this some years ago from a guy on 4A Bodies Only. It's just a billet unit, and it's designed for one of these master cylinders, and it's got a little plate on the back, comes with hardware. But I do remember saying that you had to drill this out for the hole, because these were, you know, these are a 3/8 style, where this was a 5/16. So I think somebody was doing the exact same thing at some point and drilled this out, and is what it is. So I'm not concerned. As long as it pushes fluid, I don't care. So yeah, we're taking all the stuff off of this right now, and we're going to start taking this out and moving the brake cylinder, master cylinder forward. Hopefully I don't have to take out too much stuff, but I'm probably going to have to take down the steering column to get the pedal assembly out. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I could just unbolt it and then drop it down a little bit. It's been a while since I've taken one out, since the dash has been in. So yeah, that's our next step. The booster's out. Might have to cut this. I don't know yet. We're going to see how this all lines up in here, because it's going to come through this area right here. But I've got a decision to make, you know, because do I want to pull this whole thing out of that car? Because these are all the same. I don't know if you know that or not, but they're all the same. The only difference is literally these 2 pedals and that pin. So I'm going to pop this pin out here, and if I can take it out of that one on that car, I'm just going to slide the pin out. I'll clean it up, and then I'm just going to put these 2 pedals into that one to save me some work. Hopefully I can do that. I'm going to give it a go. Decisions were made. I took it out. Because I've never liked the turn signal. It needs to be rebuilt. It would stay on so that you look like an old man driving down the road, didn't click off. I understand that, but I just going to go through some stuff and just make it easier. So, what decisions were made? Well, I took it all out here, and we're going to possibly just take this pedal assembly out and see what we got. So we have a plan. I called up my friend Dave over at Needless Torque. He has a V6 Pentastar dart with the exact same setup. Here's kind of what I was discussing with him, is that I'm going to try to put this in the factory spot. I got a rod end that's going to go right there, and then it's going to connect there. I got some all thread here that I can basically connect that to that, and then I'm just going to get, you know, a piece on there, connect that, so that way I can turn it out and adjust it as needed. Is that going to work? I don't know. We're going to give it a go. So yeah, we're going to I'm going to take this out here. I'm going to grind this off, put a hole there, and then just see if I can get this thing onto there, maybe with a little bolt and a stud sticking out, and so that way I can put a rod end on it. This is kind of the idea I had. I made a little, you know, connector here, so it's 5/16 24, you know, a little nut right there. I mean, they're both right-handed threads, so I mean, these are basically butted up inside here. This is all the way in here. I'm not sure if this is the right size, just a piece I had, so I can kind of get a visual of it. Right now, all I have for the stop is just a bolt. I mean, so it makes a really audible, awesome tick, which I'm definitely going to drive me nuts. So I'm going to have to find a little rubber bump right there. But for right now, this is for my stop, so that way I can adjust where my stop is going to be or wants to be or whatever. I'm not going to run a spring on this. Hopefully that's not a problem. Dave said he didn't have a spring on his. He just used whatever was, you know, coming back, as far as, you know, when this was coming back. I mean, I might put a spring from here to here. I'm not really sure. Just something to hold it, or even here. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this, but just is what it is. So yeah, I got these piece in there. Now this is the stoplight switch when I had the lockup. So this is for my brake lights. This is actually for the lockup, so that way when I would hit the brakes, hit the brakes a little bit, it would come off and then it would unlock the lockup. But it's an AC Delco, and it's a part that I have, and it's in there, so I'm going to use it. But this is the one for the stoplight, so that's the one I'm going to use. Yeah, and I'm going to put just a little spring on that one too, and just to hold it up. But for right now, pedals are about as even as I can get them right now for where I want it to be, hopefully. And I'm going to cut that hole right now, right down in there, that little black area right there. That's where it's going to come through at. And I'm going to mount that sucker, and then once I do that, I'm going to mount this thing here. That way, once I do that, then I can start mounting that. That might be done for the day. So, yeah. And then this might be it. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm just doing some test fitting, but this is my e-brake cable. So I drilled the 4 holes, but it comes a little close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my persuader here, my pneumatic persuader, and I'm going to put a little crevasse right in here, just a little pocket. I'm going to hammer a little pocket right in there for that little sucker. And that way when I hammer this in, I still have my e-brake. I had to move the brake line out of the way for right now. I got the tab right here. I'll tack weld it back on at some point, but right now that's what I got for the holes. Sometimes I feel like I should call this garage ADD Garage, but I was waiting for these rod bearings. They just showed up today, but I'm going to show you. I ordered these things on the 23rd, and they left Concord, North Carolina. Then they went to Strattsburg. Then they went to Strattsburg, Concord, North Carolina, Clyde. Then they went to Nashville by the 25th. They were on here, but then all of a sudden they went to Florida. The 28th, and they kind of sat in Florida. Then they went to Ocala, Florida. Then they went to Glenwood, Georgia, and this was the 30th. They went to Ellenwood, Georgia, Irondale, Alabama, Olive Branch, Mississippi on Thursday, Olive Branch, and they were delivered today, Friday, 7/03/26. So, yeah, see that? I mean, that I got those on the 23rd, thinking that they would be here in 2 or 3 days. Everything else got here in 2 or 3 days, but this didn't. It's the only ones I could find, so that were 10 under. So, and instead of them just stopping these cars, what they're going to do is you're just going to have the parts just not made anymore, and that's kind of what's happening here. So, yeah, ADD garage because of this, but now I'm working on this. So what we got going on is I did the redneck powder coating here and redneck powder coating there. What's redneck powder coating? Well, I'll tell you. Get it really, 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 really hot, and then you paint it with black. This is called Hide It Black, which is a low gloss black. I call it DE 1634. Best stuff in the world, Hide It Black. So that's what I did here, and they are, ooh, it's still hot. And that, so yeah, that's where we at. Yeah. Father's Day present. It's perfect. So I zoomed in, but you can kind of see, there it is. And it's got plenty of room now for my movement, my little, massaging. Brake line is out of the way and it's not hitting the body. It's pretty close, but it's definitely not hitting. And I'm going to put the reservoir possibly up in here. And I really think I'm going to get rid of the vacuum brakes. I've never really liked them. So I'm probably going to get rid of them. So yeah, I'll probably go back to a manual brake system, but I don't have the rod that goes from here onto the pedal anymore. So maybe I'll just do something with that. But for right now, that's what I got. This is how it's set up inside for right now. That's my little pin when I put the pedals back in here. Obviously I'm going to have the clearance right here on that plate that goes here. That's going to have to be clearanced. So I'm going to put that on there first and just clearance that up. And then that little hole, that little bolt right there fell out. So I'm going to tack that sucker back in before I get going more. But yeah, this is moving along nicely. And then I'll set up all the stops and everything as it gets a little closer. But that's where we're at right now. And I think we're done. I'm done until tomorrow. And I'm going to post up this video. Today's Friday. It's July 3rd. So I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off. So my goal is to have all this back together, hopefully, and then all of this possibly in, and all of this built. So until then, you guys take it easy. Later.